ECMEN Tim Rigby Faith Run. Finished first overall in 1847. This is the finisher's medal that they gave out this year. This is what I got for finishing first. It's embroidered ECMEN seat cover, so my seats don't get crappy from sweat or mud or whatever after races. They said this is the 4th year that they've done this race. I know I did it at least one other year. I don't know if I'd done it twice before, but I know I wasn't here last year. It's a fun course. It's pretty flat and fast. It's up here in Ferndale, whatever I'm going to call it, a suburb of Johnstown. Starts at like the Tim Rigby Park where the Ferndale Jubilee is every year. So if people are familiar with that, it might help them out where it is a little bit. We do run maybe 3 or 4 tents on a back street of Ferndale, so we're not on Main Street. I mean, we start on Main Street in front of like the Jubilee area, like the playground, and then we turn down towards that Jugs or whatever it is, automobile place, and then we run that back street the whole way to the end, pop out on the road real quick, cross the bridge, and then we hit the Jim Mayer Trail for the 1.5 ish that it is. Then you pop back out off the Jim Mayer Trail, do a couple tents before circling back around another bridge, and finishing up where we started in front of like the Jubilee area. I would say it's less than 100 feet of gain. So again, pretty flat and fast course. You see, I just want to show what my splits were real quick. 5:56, 6:06, 6:01, and then 46 seconds. So a little bit slower on the back end than it probably needed to be. I got 49 feet of gain. So again, very flat for PA. I don't know how much flatter you're going to get. The asphalt portion of the course is pretty smooth. There's really no potholes. Jim Mayer Trail is a little bit hit and miss in a couple spots, but it's pretty well taken care of right now as well. So there's no real issues on that. It was probably 50 degrees when we started, so very nice, cool, early September race temperature, I guess. I felt pretty good. My legs weren't really that fresh yesterday, so I wasn't sure how I was going to perform. They still didn't feel like they had the top end juice this morning that I would have liked, but I got it done. We went out a little bit too hot. I stayed back a little bit early on for like the first mile, just because I wasn't sure where the road, like the turns and stuff like were on the road. But I knew as soon as we got to the Jim Mayer part, which was pretty much spot on for a mile, I knew where to go the rest of the way. I think, yeah, once I turned on the Jim Mayer Trail, that little like park, like right off the bridge, as soon as I hit that little like dusty part, that's when my watch hit a mile. So that was a good little marker. I don't know where 2 miles was, but there's a few people in Jim Mayer Trail that they walking their dogs and actually running. I think it was all guys. I think there was like 4 guys. Either way, there's people at every intersection pointing in the right direction, so you shouldn't get lost. But yeah, we took off. 2 of us took off. Like I said, I hugged back a little bit just to see where the turns were. And then once I knew that, I sort of got ahead and turned it on. But I definitely noticed a difference today in my carbon shoes, my Endorphin Pro 4s, how I felt compared to yesterday doing another training run. It was short. I just felt more hop in my step and bounce in my step with the carbons today than my trainers yesterday. And it was nice to get that little propulsion. And even with the splits that I had, I would say it was shaving that 20-30 seconds off that I did the other day when I was doing like a high tempo run on Ghosttown Trail. I was doing like 6:30s and I was struggling with that, but with the shoes today, I definitely noticed the difference. in speed. So I don't think they made that huge of a difference, but that 20 seconds effort really did seem to affect things today. Like, I don't think they're supposed to give you like a 20-second difference, but today they definitely did, and I still had some juice left in me. I know at the end here, once we crossed the end bridge, there was like 3-4 tenths left. I'm looking at my watch, I'm like, oh man, maybe I can get under 18. So I did turn it on a little bit, trying to push. I went back down, I think, in the 530s, but at that point it was too late to get under 18, so I sort of pulled back once I realized that. So would have been a little bit lower, probably an 18-20, had I not pulled back at the end. But if I really tried, I definitely think I could have got into the 17s again today. I should have done that. I just wasn't sure how my body was going to react. It's just a little, Jim Mayer Trail was a little dusty today, we'll put it that way. Needed a little bit moisture on it to be a little bit more solid, so the grip wasn't perfect for carbon shoes, but carbon shoes still definitely helped with speed today. Wore compression shorts, calf sleeves. I didn't wet my body, but I did wear a shirt today. Should have wet myself down a little bit because I did get a little bit hot, but it was cool enough where I didn't really worry about it. And it was pretty straightforward most of the race, because it's pretty much a straight course. You only got a couple of little turns, but the vast majority of it you're running straight ahead. There's no real like curvatures or anything like that, or turns, as I already said. Then once we got to Jim Mayer, I guess I would call it like go time, and I just went a little bit harder and pushed. Other than that, might have had 10-15 seconds popping out a Jim Mayer. I don't know how much I ended up being ahead a second, but I did turn it on that, like I said, the last couple tenths a little bit before pulling up. So time was a little bit skewed that way. Just happy, I guess, overall with how I'm progressing, how I'm doing, and feeling overall. Like, I'm already fine. I could probably do another 5K if I needed to. Probably still under 19 minutes, you know, between an 18 and 18 and a half, depending on the course. It's cool to see. Though I'm a little bit tired, probably see it in my eyes. Didn't get enough sleep last night. Probably went to bed about 2. Tossed and turned a little bit. Woke up at like 7:35. I didn't set the alarm this morning, and I wasn't sure if I was going to come. I said if I got up on my own, I was going to come to the race. So it wasn't really planned out to come unless I woke up on my own. And somehow, magically, I woke up at 7:35 in time to come to the race and get ready. So one of those weird things in life, because I shouldn't have woken up on my own, you know, at 7:30 this morning, the way I slept last night. So maybe it being one of those like faith runs, you know, Christian men type races, maybe I got woke up for a reason. Happy I came. Really like the medal. Show that again real quick. Really like that. Nice, cool design. Pretty nice, thick metal. Good crowd. They said it was their biggest crowd yet. It was a fun crowd. I think UPJ had their whole basketball team here. I think that's what their shirt said. Got some pancakes and sausage afterwards. So, just a good cause, good group of people. Had a good race. Guess we're just gonna leave it at that because I'm rambling. So, yeah.